In this week's Parsha, Parsha's Yisro, we continue in the narrative of the Jewish people continuing their journey in the desert to the point where they received the Aseres HaDibros, the 10 utterances. So on this, the Medrash tells us we have the first of the commandments, Anechi Hashem Elokecha, for I am Hashem your God. So the question what the Medrash is asking is, why is it necessary to say Anechi Hashem Elokecha, for I am Hashem your God? The Jews just experienced all the miracles, they just experienced coming out of Egypt. Why is this necessary? So the Medrash answers, because we have in the book of Devarim, we have later on, it says in the verse, Shama am kol elikim, have you not heard the voice of Hashem? And the Medrash explains. There's once an incident with Haminim Shalas Rabbi Simlai, that heretics asked the sage Rabbi Simlai. Rabbi Simlai was a second generation Amoraic sage that had a number of run-ins. We find various mentions scattered around of run-ins he had with the heretics. He defended against their accusations. So over here they asked, Amru Loi, they said to him, Elikuz harbe yesh ba'olam, there must be multiple gods. Amr lahem, so he said to them, Lama, why you say so? Amru Loi, so they responded, Shrei kesiv, for it says in the verse, Shama am kol elikim, for have you not heard the voice of Hashem? Amr lahem, so he said to them, Shema kosuv medabrim. That would be the case if the following words were medabrim, speaking. Ella medaber. Rather, that's not how the verse continues on. The verse continues on in singular form, medaber, missing the suffix that we have, right? We have the suffix of yud mem. So that suffix of yud mem, the missing of it means that it's speaking in singular terms. In other words, the minim we're questioning, it says Elikim. Elikim has the yud mem, which generally refers to plural tense. So they're saying it must be that kol Elikim, that they heard Elikim, they heard multiple gods. And to this he responded that if you look in the continuation of the verse, it's in singular context. And we're not going to go into why Elikim is used in what would seem plural tense if we're speaking in singular. That is actually something which he does address in another one of his polemic discussions. Amrulay Talmidov, so students responded, Rebbe, our teacher, Le'elu dechisa b'kan yotzitz, to those you're able to push away with a reed, Lo numata mesha, but why will you respond to us? And just to fill in what the question was, if you look in the Psalms, in Psalms 29, David HaMelech brings down Kel Hashem al Amoyim, Kel Hashem b'koyach, Kel Hashem b'hodar, Kel Hashem shevar yozim, etc. So it seems that there's multiple koilos that came out by Har Sinai. So it's very good what Rabbi Simlai answered as far as that particular pasuk of Hishama Am Kol Elikim, that pasuk isn't really a question because it's speaking in singular tense. However, what's going to be the answer for what it says in Psalms that there's 7 koilos that were heard? Chazer Rabbi Levi Upirsha. Rabbi Levi was a second generation Amoraic sage from Eretz Yisrael. The same generation, but maybe slightly younger than Rabbi Simlai. Pirshani explained as follows. Omar, he said, what does the verse mean when it says, Hashama am kol elikim, that they heard the voice of Hashem? Ketzad, how does so? Ilo ayukosov, if it would have written in Psalms, Kel Hashem b'koichai, that Hashem spoke with all his might, which that is not what it writes. It's not possible for the world to stand if Hashem would have just spoke with all his might. Ella, rather, that's what it means in Psalms, Kol Hashem HaKoyach, that Hashem spoke with strength. B'koyach shokol echad ve'echad, according to each person. In other words, these 7 utterances, these 7 koilos that were heard, were not, heaven forbid, 7 gods. Rather they were each tailored to different people. It was one God speaking tailored to different people. Habachurim, the young lads, lefikaychan, according to their strength, v'adakinim, and the old people, lefikaychan, according to their strength, v'aktanim, and the kids, lefikaychan, according to their strength. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu Yisro, Hashem is saying to the Jewish people, Loi b'shvil sheshamaitem kolos harbe, not on account that you collectively heard different voices. Tiu soivrim shem alikus harbe, you should go thinking that there's multiple gods. Yesh b'shamayim, in heaven. Elatiu yoidim, you should know, shani hu Hashem, that I am Hashem Elikecha, that I am Hashem your God, shenemar, and this explains what we started off with the question, why does it need to say, why does the 10 Seres HaDibros need to start off with Anochi Hashem Elikecha, and this is the reason. Not to confuse the fact that we collectively heard 7 different kolos comes along the first, even before we heard the kolos, the first one is Anochi Hashem Elikecha, for I am Hashem your God. And that concludes today's episode. Thank you very much for tuning in, and see you in the next Parsha.